Hey, sweetie. Okay, here goes. I'm going to try to teach you how to do these bombs. There'll be like several different videos each step, so you don't have to wait while things are in the fridge, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so first, melt your almond bark. I did white chocolate. That's all I had left. But the white chocolate, I find I need about a brick and a half, a little square and a half. The chocolate is closer to like 1 or maybe 1 1/4. But anyway, I was telling your mom, I think you should be able to get at least 8 out of every pack of 12. So for just these, I did 2 minutes and they need a little bit more. So I'm going to ask Kier to do that for me while I'm explaining to you. Thank you, darling.
And I say no. Oh my God, that's hot.
So we'll do like another 30 seconds to a minute on those. And so once you get them nice and smooth, if I'm doing like the full pack of 12, break them all up. Never leave them. Stop, Kier, please. Don't leave them in one big brick. Break them all up. For a whole pack, about 4 minutes. If I'm doing like a half pack, 3 minutes. And then if I'm just doing a couple, I did 2 minutes. And it still needs another like half a minute to a minute. So we'll be back with you in 1 minute. Okay, we're back. And it's all nice and smooth and melty. So you're going to take your mold, and I only use a plastic spoon. So just like a disposable plastic spoon you would use for like a birthday party. The metal spoons tend to dig out the middle, so it never gets like completely covered. So for the white, actually for both, you're going to need about 1 1/2 or 2 spoons. You don't have to make them like super big spoons. Just pour them in the bottom. And then use your spoon just to spread them out. And then you can use more. And I do go kind of side to side sometimes. You want to make sure they come all the way to the top though. And then here I need a little bit more. So I'm just going to pour a little bit more in there in the bottom and just spread it out. And then once you get it filled, you're going to see like there's some high spots, some low spots. Just kind of press from the bottom. And bang it on the table, and it'll make it nice and smooth. So let me do the other side. And then you're going to put this in the refrigerator.
What freezer?
You can do the freezer or the fridge. We use the fridge most of the time. It hardened up in a few minutes. But if you're in a big hurry, use the freezer, whatever you want. So the white chocolate, as I told you before, you need more chocolate than you do with the dark, or the brown chocolate. Okay, I've got both of these coated. Remember, this is your first layer, so it does not have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that you've definitely come to the top around the sides so that you have a nice thick edge when you go to put them together. Okay, we're going to put these in the fridge and we'll be right back. Okay, Chicky, the first layer is done. It's very hard to see in the video, but you will notice that it loses its shine. And when it's all lost its shine, then you know you're good. And so you're just going to go in with more of your white chocolate. Make sure you get all the way up to the top on the edges. And you're just going to coat it. This does not have to be real thick. You just want every part to look wet, basically, and for it to come all the way to the top. So do the bottom and the sides. And you just want it to coat everywhere, so everywhere should look wet again. And then you're going to put this back in the fridge or freezer. I did it in the fridge, and it took longer than I felt like right now because I want to get this video to you. So we're going to go ahead and stick this in the freezer just to show you the next step. It's a little bit faster. So, okay, so it's all coated again. Again, I'm just going up the sides just to make sure they're nice and thick. We're going to make them a little bit thicker. You'll see when we melt them a little bit. All right, so these are going back in the freezer. I'll be back with you in a few. Quick tip, when you are doing each layer, and I didn't say this, but make sure that you are checking them for, sorry, there was something popped up. Make sure you're checking to make sure every spot is filled in. Sometimes like the part facing you of the circle or the bomb or whatever, you can't really see that part because it's right up against you. So just kind of make sure you turn them to look at them. And the second coat, you're not going to shake them or bounce them or mess with the bottoms to get them smooth. They will look pretty rough usually, but it's okay. They are supposed to look rough. It doesn't matter because the outside is the only thing people see, and that's all smooth. By the time they see the inside, it's melted and delicious. And There's something else I was going to say to you about coating them. I don't know. I guess that's it. All right. Be with you in a few. Okay, girly, for this next step, you are going to want to heat up either a plate or a cookie sheet. So what I did today, I just did the plate because I was only doing one to show you. So I microwave it for about 2 minutes. But what I did when I was making a lot, which I would recommend, is just put your oven at like 290 is what I was using. And then leave your cookie sheet in there. If you're doing a whole bunch of them, then maybe do 2 cookie sheets so you can take one out, and then once it cools, you can put it back in and have one that's still hot. That's what I was doing. So I'm going to show you how to use those. So again, when you're doing a whole bunch, like if you're going to use all that almond bark your mom bought, then I would go ahead and put 2 cookie sheets in the oven at 290 and just leave them in there while you're doing all these first steps. Okay? Be with you in a minute. All right, girly, we're going to finish them up now. So we've got our hardened molds. Molds, not moles. Ew. Okay, so when you're popping these out, don't push on the sides, push on the bottom. And as you push on the bottom, they're going to start popping out super duper easy, okay? And you're pushing from the bottom. Sorry, I'm swiping off a message. You're going to push from the bottom because that is the thickest part, because all that chocolate kind of settles at the bottom, all the extra. Okay, so then you're just going to take that off. Wax paper or parchment paper are your best friend. You need one of those. So I have some just sitting right here. I'm going to set my 2 molds on there. You're going to then take one side, okay? You're only going to need 1/2 at this point. So if I'm doing, I don't know, say I'm doing 20 half molds. So I'm going to make 10 bombs. That's 20 halves. I'm going to take 10 of my halves and do this next step. So I've got a hot plate, or you're going to use the cookie sheet. Put some more parchment or wax paper on top. And I'm trying to do this so you can see. And you're just going to twist it a little bit, and that will start to melt it. And it will give you, probably it's not going to focus. There we go. It starts to, oh my golly May. It starts to flatten out your edges. So now you have an edge to seal from. Now, if you notice when you take it out, this one has some. I don't know if you can see, but like that side right there has a little dip in it. So when I twist it to melt it in a few minutes, oh my, I'm going to melt past that point so that you have a nice smooth edge, okay? So I've got this side all melted and nice and flat. I had your mom buy the same cocoa mix that I like. Sorry if you don't like it, but it's my fave. Okay, so then you're going to just take a tablespoon. It's going to tell you, I think, 2 tablespoons is the recipe. Like if you're just making a cup of hot chocolate. You don't need that much for these because you got all the chocolate in your shell. So just a little heaping tablespoon. It doesn't have to be flat. Little heaping. Put that in there. And then for your marshmallows, I just do like a little bit of a handful. I don't know, about that many. And I squeeze it. And the reason you're squeezing it, so it kind of makes a clump, when you set it in there, it won't all fall out. If you don't squeeze them, they tend to fall out, or they're sitting on the edge and they're in your way the whole time, and it's super annoying. So I just squeeze them like that. So then I do that step on all of them. Like I go through, I smooth all the halves, you know, 1/2 of each bomb. So like if I'm making 10 bombs, I'm going to do 10 halves, smooth them all out. Then I'm going to fill all 10 halves, and then I'm going to do this step. So you're going to take your other 10 that have not been smoothed yet. You're going to smooth those as well now. You don't want to smooth them ahead of time. You want to smooth them when you're ready to seal. Okay, so now they're nice and smooth, and they're kind of wet looking because you started melting that chocolate. Press them together, and then I run my finger over them because you'll have some extra chocolate, and that is going to help seal. Now, if you notice a spot where you maybe have a little bit of a gap, take some of that chocolate right off your wax paper and just go around your circle with it, okay? I try to make sure I have some chocolate all the way around that to help seal it. So I'm just going through and just sealing the edges of my bombs. And let's see, I think I got it all the way around. And you now have your bomb all done, okay? So then the next step is decorating your bombs. So again, now do this step on all of them. So every step, do it for everybody and then move to the next step. Otherwise, you'll just waste your time going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So then you're going to take some more of your melted chocolate. Now, this is my double chocolate one because I only had the white left and I didn't feel like doing anything else. So you can do what, if you wanted to put, like when I did these for to sell the double chocolate, I did some white chocolate and some brown chocolate on top. You're just doing one flavor, like white or chocolate, so you don't really have to be like super fancy about it. But you can do whatever you like, whatever color chocolate you want. You can even color the chocolate if you want. You can, when you're coloring it, if you have that gel food coloring, that can be good. You just have to be super careful. Apparently there's chocolate coloring, like for candy. I think it's called candy coloring. I couldn't find it around here. But if you use the liquid drops, it can change the consistency. If you use the gel, it can change the consistency. So I didn't color them, but if you want to play around with it, go ahead. Okay, so just snip off a little corner of your bag that you just put it in. And when you're filling the bag, I hold it like this. So I have one corner. My other corner is just kind of scrunched up here. So it all goes down to one. And I just snipped it. And so then, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Maybe if I stand back. Okay, and then I just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth a couple times. And then you can use sprinkles. You could put chocolate chips, don't melt really well. But you could put a marshmallow in that chocolate. Whatever topping you're going to do, you want to do right away before your the drizzle hardens. So when I was doing a whole bunch of them, I would do the chocolate, and then one of the kids would follow behind me and do the topping. So you and Daisy could do that.
Yes.
So let me see if I can hold it where you can actually, yeah, that's better. So yeah, so it's just got a drizzle and your topping on it. Whatever you want. You can be really creative. You can go on Pinterest and find all kinds of ideas, but do not stress yourself out, girl. Just have fun with it. So there is our hot cocoa bomb. And so I will take a picture of my label and send it to you as well. In fact, let me just grab one. But I'll send you a picture too, so that you guys can make your own on index cards or on whatever. I ordered these off of a lady on Etsy, and it has my info on it. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be backwards. Okay, I'll take a picture and send it to you. And it just tells them how to use it. Basically, it's a cup of milk. Sorry, you were playing with mine yesterday, so you probably know better than I do. So it's about a cup of milk. Some people like a little more. Some people like a cup, whatever. I tell them to microwave it till it's nice and hot and steaming. I usually do 1.5 minutes for me. I don't know what you guys found work for you. And they're going to pour that over top of the bomb, you know. And I tell them to pour it slow, because if they pour it real fast, it doesn't give it time to melt and bust open like you want it to do that bomb effect. And then they just stir it up and enjoy. I did tell people, I did a video yesterday and let them know that if it starts to lose its flavor after a while, to just stir it back up. If it starts to kind of settle, they can just stir it back up, or even heat it and stir it back up. So anyway, that's my story, girl. Send me pictures of your bombs. Make them however you like, girl. Be creative. But if you're in a hurry, do them basic, girl. People love them. They do not care how fancy they are or not. Just have fun and let me know any questions you have. Love you, sweetie. Bye. Hey, girly. I know what I was going to tell you was, if your chocolate starts to harden in the bowl, go ahead and just throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds. You can always do another 30 if you need to. And that will usually soften it up. Your white chocolate will harden much faster. One tip that I learned on there that really did help is not using a glass bowl. It holds the heat way too long. It holds the heat, so it makes it really hot and it hardens so fast. It's such a pain. So use a plastic bowl. Even if you're using like a little disposable container, use one of those. Don't use the glass. And the other thing I meant to tell you was, my kids really struggled with getting them sealed properly. So that may take you some practice. So don't get really upset with yourself if they're not sealing together as quickly as I did in the video. You have to remember, I've done like 300. Literally. Oh, more than that. Oh, 350, something like that. So don't be hard on yourself if they don't seal real well to begin with. You'll get there. You can always just melt them a little bit more. So yeah, there you go. Love ya. Bye.